Hello everyone, how you doing? Look at this sun. Look at this sun on my face. It's ridiculous. I'm red hot. Um, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. It's Thursday the 14th of March here, 4:30. You're probably all still at work, so you're probably gonna hopefully you'll catch up with this later on. I've just posted the fifth edition of the Social Work Shorts podcast. It's a kind of one-trick pony, to be honest. It's all about motivation. I've talked a bit about the calendar effect. I've talked a bit about how we're kind of locked into this cycle of the week. You know, the way we feel on a Sunday night, the way we feel on a Monday morning, the way we call Wednesday a hump day, the way we feel on a Friday afternoon when we're kind of nearly at our time. I've talked a bit about that. I've talked a bit about work-life balance. I don't think it exists. I don't think we should be even trying to achieve it. I think we should just be trying to achieve life, really. We should just be trying to achieve productivity across all spheres of our lives, whether that's when we're in the office doing something or with people in their homes or chilling at home with our family. There should be a reason to all of the things we do, or we're just wasting our time. And sometimes that reason is just sitting on your backside on the couch and binge watching something. But there's a reason, isn't it? There's a reason behind it. It's self-care, isn't it? That's the important thing there. So all that needs planning. Well, you know me. All that needs planning. Get it in your diary, then it'll happen. So I've talked about the calendar effect. I've talked about motivation. I think that's important. And when you're having to listen to the podcast, and please do, I get really excited when I watch the little count going up, and it's gone past 300, and that's really exciting. So 300 people there have been 300 downloads of the four so far. So this is the fifth one, and none of them can be me mum because she's not on the internet. So when you're having to listen to the podcast, the one thing that I want you to think of is flow. I'm reading a book at the minute about this. Here it is, in fact. I'm not even going to attempt to name the author. Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi, I think, something like that. Apparently it's a classic. It's about achieving happiness. Can't be a bad thing. But it's about having flow in your life. And one of the things that my whole focus on productivity is about creating flow when you're doing your day job. When you're being a social worker, you need to create flow, because creating flow by being organized and planned, creating flow creates energy. Energy makes you productive. Energy gets you through stuff. So that's important. But you create flow in your personal life as well. You can create flow in the way your weekend goes. Plan it. Think of the things you want to do. Think of the things you want to achieve. And like I say, achieving might be having a duvet day. If that's what you need, that's what you need, and that's great. It might be I'm going to go for a run, then I'm going to go shopping, then I'm going to chill out in front of the rugby. I'm telling you how my weekend's going to go. So it's those kind of things. So think about flow when you're doing that. Give yourself a flow test. Maybe can you think of any times when you're at work or you're at home where you feel actively engaged in something, but just kind of going with it, and you're flowing with it? And the other thing that I want you to do is give yourself a bit of a performance review. I think that's important. I think we need to be quite critical of ourselves sometimes in a reflective way, just to have a look at where we could maybe make some changes, where maybe we could make some differences in how we work. And I mean, obviously, listen to the other podcasts, have a read of the stuff that's on socialworkshorts.co.uk, have a look at that, and have a think about how maybe you could do things a bit differently. If you need to, you might not. You might be very happy with how things are, and that's great. I hope you are. But if you think, well, I could be a bit better at this, a bit better at that, a bit more organized in this area of life or whatever, then have a think about what you can do with that. So think about when you're in the flow. Think about what that feels like. Think about how you might create that flow more often, and give yourself a bit of have a good hard look at yourself and think about, well, how could I maybe do this better? Yeah, maybe you can't. Maybe you couldn't. Maybe the factors are external to you. But I always think we can make some tweaks somewhere, can't we? Get control of something. Get control of our diaries. Get control of our emails. Get control of all those little jobs that are going on in the house, because we're trying to create a life. We're trying to create that psychological well-being that means you're fully engaged in life, and life's not just happening to you. That makes sense. But that you're driving life. There's a great thing, I'm going to mention them again, Getting Things Done, David Allen. If you don't control it, it will control you. And I think that's true for work, the bit of your life where you get paid for doing something, and equally the bit where you're kind of looking after yourself, looking after your family, looking after your friends. If you control it, it won't control you. Yeah. I've done a little piece on Social Work Shorts today about what is the unique contribution of social work, because it's really interesting. I think social work gets criticised for being a bit of a woolly kind of profession sometimes. People don't really quite understand what we do, and that's quite interesting in itself. Because when I asked a group of our first year BA students that question, I've asked it many times before to other people, and I'm deafened by the silence. And it's hard to unpick what it is that is unique to what we do. Yeah, we communicate, but so do other professionals. Yeah, we use the law, so do other professionals. And what I say in that piece, just quickly, it's just a short one, like 300-400 words. So it'll take you 5 minutes to read. Is actually, I don't think it's what we do as social workers that's unique. I think it's how we do it. I think how we do it is quite special, and takes a certain type of person, implementing a certain set of skills from a sound knowledge base. So yeah, as social workers, I don't think it's kind of what we do particularly. It's how we do it, and that's exciting because actually you can shape how you do it. You've got a lot of autonomy in kind of how you do what you do, and it's the how you do what you do that's important, because that's where we can kind of transfer power back to the people that we're working with. And I think that's really what social work's all about. So there you go. Hopefully, it's the middle of the afternoon, so nobody will be watching this live, I'd imagine. So have a look at this and have a bit of a think about that. So have a bit of a think about when you're in flow, what that feels like. Have a bit of a kind of clinical look at kind of how you're operating, and have a think about where you could maybe improve things, and have a think about what your unique contribution is. Think about how you're unique, because you are, and this profession is very unique and needs supported and protected. And you know, it's one of those things. And I've just followed somebody on Twitter. I can't remember what it's called now, but it was trying to portray social work in a positive light, or trying to be positive about social work. I think I read a lot of negative stuff about social work, but also posted about by social workers about you know, the negative aspects of the job. And I think we need to turn that around. I think, as I've said before, we're creating a negative narrative in social work if we're not careful. And I talk to loads of people who talk very positively about what they're doing for people, with people, in people's lives, all of those kind of things. And I think we need to start that. So if you go to my Social Work Shorts feed, what I'll do is I'll give a share of some of the stuff that people are posting on that positive Twitter feed, and give it a like and give it a share, and let's see if we can turn this narrative around. Let's see if we can make this narrative more positive, because we love social work, don't we? Okay, anyway, take care, have good Fridays, settle yourselves into a routine tomorrow, and make sure that tomorrow afternoon you are planning your next week. So get your diary and set yourself an hour aside tomorrow afternoon right at the end, and plan your next week, and even plan your next month, and work backwards, and eat your elephants and figure out how you're going to do that. Yeah, so do all that stuff. I'm recording another podcast tomorrow with Dawn from Cash Alumni, where I write social work stuff and self-care stuff. I'll link you up through my Facebook feed to that, because it's free. And there's lots of other good stuff on there that you can read, not just my fabulous stuff. So have a look at that, and then when Dawn's put a podcast together, she can talk about social work, and she can talk about social work and self-care tomorrow. When she's done that, I'll link you to that. So that's really good. So enjoy yourselves, take care, and we'll speak soon.